Hello again, everybody, and welcome back to Bowl TV for continued coverage of the 2021 Intercollegiate Team Championships taking place at the Spectrum Entertainment Complex in Wyoming, Michigan, just outside of Grand Rapids. My name is Aaron Smith with Bowl TV, and we are ready to start match play. We had our 12 Baker qualifying games. Wichita State, the top overall seed. We're going to see them take on number 16 Pikeville on lanes 13 and 14. So let's go ahead and get to the lanes as they wrap up practice. We got about 3 minutes left. So let's go ahead and do that here. Boom. Lanes. Let's go. And we'll get you a quick rundown of all the other matches so you know if you want to follow a particular school, where to go to watch it here on Bowl TV. We do have every single match available for you to watch. So let's go full screen here. Let's run down those matchups across the board. We'll start on the left side of the bracket, because that's what we're watching right now. That's Wichita State. That's Pikeville in the 1-16 matchup. Over on lanes 9 and 10, so that's the 9 through 12 channel, we have Indiana Tech, the 8 seed, taking on Wisconsin Whitewater, number 9. Over on our ITC 5 through 8 channel, number 5, William Penn, taking on Calumet, specifically lanes 5 and 6. So William Penn versus Calumet on 5 and 6. And then on the 1 through 4 ITC channel, on lanes 1 and 2, Emmanuel taking on Lindenwood. Emmanuel, the 4 seed, Lindenwood, number 13 overall. Moving to the right side of the bracket, the number 2 qualifier was Weber International, and they'll be taking on McKendree University. So that's a matchup we've seen a couple times in the past. That's going to be on lanes 29 and 30 to watch. So the ITC 29 through 32 channel. Martin Methodist, number 7, versus Mount Mercy, number 10. That's the 25, or excuse me, that's on 25 and 26, so the 25 to 28 channel. St. Ambrose and Lawrence Tech on 21 and 22. So St. Ambrose finished qualifying in 6th, Lawrence Tech in 11th. And then Midland against St. Francis, Illinois on 17 and 18. Midland qualified 3rd overall. St. Francis, Illinois in 14th place. Just a minute or so left in practice. Taking a look at the qualifying totals, a pretty dominant performance by Wichita State to lead by right around 150 pins, just 2 games north of or south of 200. 166 in Game 6 and 199 in Game 9. Everything else well ahead of pace of everybody else. Weber International 25-16 in 2nd. Midland got 3rd with 24-75. Emmanuel was 4th with 24-67. But a lot of teams very close here when you look at the qualifying totals. So all the way, the top 11 teams actually averaged better than 200. And then the only teams that were really farther off pace were McKendree and Pikeville. St. Francis, Illinois as well. They were a little bit farther back from kind of the rest of the pack. But from 13th place, Lindenwood at 23-63 to 3rd place, Midland at 24-75. That's just a little over 110 pins of separation between that many schools. So that is a massive telling that these teams are kind of seeing it all the same, trying to find it out all together at the same time.
And a special thank you to the official live scoring provider of the Intercollegiate Team Championships, Merit, the Internet Booking Solutions. Athletes, your lanes are now lined for your match play competition. Good luck and good bowling. Dexter Shoe, the #1 bowling shoe in the world, and a special thank you to the Intercollegiate Team Championships.
All right, folks, once again, this is a best-of-7 Baker format, so first team to win 4 games is going to move on to the next round. This is double elimination, though, so nobody will be eliminated today. The women's squad will be up a little bit later today at 2 p.m. Eastern for their qualifying, and then match play after at 6 p.m. But as Wichita State and Pikeville kick this off, let's welcome in a special guest joining us here. We've had him on the broadcast during the ISC for a couple of days, and happy to have him back here for the ITC now. So let's welcome in Team USA member, 2018 PBA Player of the Year, Andrew Anderson to Bowl TV. Hello, Andrew.
Hey, how are you? Can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear. Yep, we're good.
Perfect. Yeah, thanks for having me, Aaron. I'm happy I could be part of the commentary for the ITCs. This is going to be exciting.
Absolutely. We had some higher scores. As mentioned, 11 of the 16 teams averaged 200 or better for their 12 games. And we saw 299 out there early from St. Ambrose. They kind of calmed down after that. But Wichita State really was the most dominant team. And they're going to come into this as the top seed overall. Pikeville had their struggles, but they get a fresh start here, which is, I think, the biggest thing about this double elimination bracket.
Yeah, and, when you're bowling against Wichita, you got to assume Wichita has the target on the back here. Every year it seems like they have a target on the back, just like schools like Weber and McKendree and what they consider powerhouses, right? But this is a great opportunity for Pikeville to show what they got, go up against the number 1 seed and try to send them to the losers bracket.
We will do our best throughout the course of this block to keep you updated on the other matches going on throughout the course of the house. Once again, every pair is available to watch. So if you're looking for a particular school or student athlete, let us know. We will direct you the right way as we get underway here. Pikeville looking to bounce back here after an early open. Going to have a spare opportunity in frame 3, but a chance for Wichita State to gain a little momentum here. Early double.
And that is the last thing you want them to have is early momentum. So if you're Pikeville here, you gotta believe that you want to get going early and stay in this match early. You don't want to give McKendree too much of a lead here.
Alec Keplinger delivers the strike to make it 3 in a row for the Shockers.
One of the ITC or one of the ISC finalists.
That is correct. He was the top qualifier over there as well, and then made his way to the show. Made it a little more interesting than he had hoped. But all that matters is you won the match, you advanced, you got once again a fresh start heading into the semifinals. 1-game match on CBS Sports Network.
Yeah, Wichita's looking strong early. A veteran of the team now. And a lot of experience in these moments, so I have a feeling the guys will lean on him. And if you're Pikeville, you're just trying to, now that this game is underway and you're trying to get your feet wet, get your legs underneath you, they just need to try to get what they can out of this game and gain some confidence going into the next. Not quite over just yet, but, a commanding lead for Wichita. Seems like they really like the lane so far.
And again, looking at their scores on the fresh, it was impressive just out of the gates. Let's see, I have that up in one of my 16 tabs available right here. 224, 247, 235, 245 in that first block. And that was on the pair they got to practice on for the 15 minutes. They got to do that again here on this pair. So it seems like the game plan for head coach Rick Steelsmith is strong. He likes what he's seen from his players, and obviously 6 in a row now, they're delivering.
Yeah, you can do a lot of breaking down in 15 minutes on a pair, and seems like they broke them down the way they wanted. Pretty in control of the pocket. Pikeville, there we go. Got a break there, And again, just trying to get your legs underneath you. It's match play at the ITCs. For some of those players, probably their first time there. So probably some nerves going on. And you have a pretty experienced Wichita team, whether it's not just only in college, but junior gold and other youth events. A lot of familiar names, so they're probably a little more comfortable at the moment.
The good thing about this format is that we're going to look at the game one score here, and the writing's kind of on the wall for game one here. Wichita State's going to find a way to get this victory after a few miscues from Pikeville. But the good news for Pikeville, total pins not a thing here. So this is strictly win the match, and then start over once again. One team's going to have a 1-0 lead. One team's going to be down 0-1. That's how it happens in every first game here, unless there happens to be a tie, which probably isn't going to happen here. But for them, essentially these early struggles is something they can use to their advantage instead of letting it get them down. They can use this and gather information for the next time they'll be on this lane.
Exactly. Fun part about the team event is how loud it gets, right? Even without very many fans, you can hear how passionate the boys are. So, I don't think Pikeville is by any means out of this match. They're just, you're looking at a big squad of Wichita and you're starting early. But the lanes will transition quite a bit. And we will see what adjustments Pikeville makes when we get to game two.
Some questions in the chat had a question about Arizona State. They are not here this week. They did not qualify, so not here at the ITC. Brenda looking for Newman. They're going to be on the lanes a little bit later today. The women's division or the women's squad did qualify for the ITC. And then Christopher asking about the format for the matches. Best of 7, Baker format for all of them.
And Pikeville is much farther left and playing bigger angles, whether they are trying to or not. That's just the game plan so far, where you see that Wichita has much straighter angles. They're in more control of the pocket. So see what coach looks to do. Game 2 here, but I would assume neither will be some tries, some different balls, maybe, some different zones, just to see what they got, because they're definitely in the strike or split category at the moment.
So we wrap up this game. We'll take a quick second to try to work on some volume levels here. Just a fill ball left to go for Wichita State.
And they are having another player come in and take a look. Keep them warm, just in case.
And Andrew, as we take a quick second to adjust this, I'll have a follow-up question for you once we get back to the screen here. All right, there we are. Andrew, that's everybody gets the 15-minute warm-up session, but and I know from your time at Weber, kind of that next player up mentality is so important to have, and the ability to be versatile and ready for those moments when you're called upon in a situation to help the team out, and especially in the Baker format. How did you guys really prepare to kind of make sure every player was ready to go when they were called upon? What was the communication like between the team, and what were the ways to keep yourself kind of loose and ready when that moment would come up?
Yeah, so every team does it a little differently. We relayed information very actively, and in between shots, we would not only be telling the players that are bowling, but we'd be telling the players that aren't bowling what's going on and what moves they might have to make if they come in based on practice, and how much have we moved from the start of the match and what type of adjustments have been made. And we even had a couple times or instances when we had a player that wasn't quite great at a certain spare, or a lefty versus righty. If it was an easier spare on the left versus the right, we'd bring in a certain player to shoot at spares at the end of these Baker games, because you can always change the lineup to start the next game. So um, we always had somebody on deck ready to go, regardless if it was a first frame or a first shot or a second shot of any frame. And definitely the next man up mentality. You just never know when somebody might lose ball reaction or just struggle a little bit. And um, when you have a team as deep as Wichita, you don't have to like, your next man up is quite talented. And when you have some of the other teams, like a Pikeville here, their next man up needs to be ready, needs to be mentally engaged in what's going on in the lane. And you find that with a team like Weber that we played the lanes fairly similar. Like you're seeing Wichita, you see them all in the similar zone, where you see Pikeville, you have a couple guys farther left, couple guys farther right. So it's even more important for Pikeville to relay information on what they see, because you're not seeing the same exact thing on the lanes. You're not playing the same part of the lanes. So very important. All information is good information. You just try to be ready.
We do have some scores rolling in after one. Weber International up 1-0 on McKendree. All three in the 10th for Wisconsin Whitewater to edge out a 3-pin victory over Indiana Tech to take the early advantage. Looks like William Penn up 1-0 on Calumet. Emmanuel up 1-0 against Lindenwood. Let's see what else we got here. Looks like Lawrence Tech got the opener against St. Ambrose. St. Francis, Illinois ahead of Midland 1-0. Mount Mercy's going to get the win against Martin Methodist. As we mentioned, Weber up after game number 1.
This is gonna be a hard Wichita State team to beat. They've, over the years, they brought out some very, very strong teams to nationals. And when it comes to experience, I believe this is one of the most experienced Wichita teams. Maybe not on the ITC level, but just in general. Majority of these bowlers compete on the amateur tour or in regionals when they can, and are very prepared is the way I'll describe it.
Go ahead.
And you see, like, not only are they throwing strikes, but they're catching some breaks early in these games to really keep the strings going, which just to gather momentum.
And when we look at this Wichita State team, you mentioned the veteran experience, but the big names joining the program, which has kind of been a staple of what the Shockers have been able to do. But, you mentioned the experience. You got Brandon Biondo delivering the strike there. He's the senior on the team. He's been in that position now for a couple of seasons, throwing the big shots when they need it. You got Briley Howe, who's been there for a couple of years. Nick Summer, who's a first-team All-American. But you got the youth. You got Alec Keplinger, who's, I believe, on his sophomore year now, a past junior gold champion. And then Cameron Hurwitz, who also won junior gold in 2019, contributing as a freshman. So this team just has so many ways they can attack you, and it's been been pretty exciting. We've got TJ Rock up here right now, another player with Junior Team USA experience as well. So all those players kind of have that in common, and it can build off that.
Yeah, and it's just it's just a great team, and you can tell that they're doing a great job of, when you have that much talent in a room, right? It's a very hard for a coach to keep them all on the same page. That's a lot of talent, a lot of guys that expect the ball in their hand when it's needed, and you kind of resort in those spots to your seniors and to those guys that have been there. And Brandon Biano has done a great job of leading this team so far, and I'm curious to see how Pikeville starts to change here. These matches are long. It's a long match to go still. Nowhere near out of it. They got to pick their heads up. Got to get going. Look to each other for some positive feedback. Really take some time to figure it out. And they are bowling this game a little slower, and I think that's because they're trying to line up. And I like that. I think that take your own time, do what you need to do to figure it out. Let Wichita bowl their big score here and get out of the way and get ready for the next game. And this game's really not even over yet. If they string some together here, they're right back in it. Riley Haw, man. Just throwing strike after strike. I mean, really, half of the team is, TJ Rockstrell in the first and sixth, but not much of a struggle when you have a four-bagger behind it.
Again, we're being joined by Andrew Anderson here in the Bowl TV booth for the Intercollegiate Team Championships, opening round of men's match play. The women will be on the lanes for qualifying 2 p.m. Eastern and have their first round. So no teams eliminated today, which I think is pretty cool. So everybody gets a full day to kind of reflect upon their experience, whether it goes well or doesn't go so well. They're going to have the opportunity to really sit down, talk about what they saw out there and how they're going to improve the next day if that happens to be the case, and try to make their run through. If you lose that one, it's a longer journey, but we've seen it before, making those long runs through the elimination bracket to earn your spot on TV.
It's gonna be the kids got to remember that it's a long day of bowling, right? This is a long match. Pikeville's hanging their heads a little bit. I'd like to see somebody on their team step up, get the positive energy flowing, let them know that we're still in this. Great shot there, leaving the sixth pin. Just need to get some positive energy flowing. It's hard. It's hard when you're looking up and the Wichita State Shockers are in front of you throwing some big scores at you. But you also have to remember you made it here too, and it's time to push them up against the wall.
And Andrew, you mentioned, we talked about Pikeville being a little bit of a younger team out there. A couple freshmen on this team, a couple sophomore as well. It's looking for their first strike here in frame number 7. But talk about being a young player in this situation. Obviously, I've known you for a long time, and seen you go through the ranks as a competitor, and just knowing how talented these kids are. I know they're not scared of the moment, but when you're here for the first time, experiencing it, you see the Wichita State. Just what's the best way to process all this when it's kind of going? It all goes so fast in this format too. What's the best way to kind of settle down and just refocus and just try to remember we're a great team as well. And how do we get going?
Yeah, and on every level of the sport, you have learning curves, right? And this is a big learning curve for some of the younger guys. For Wichita, for Cameron, Alec, you have guys to look up to, right? That have been here now 3 times. I think Brandon's been to the ITCs, and he was part of the ISCs a couple years ago. And it seems like he's been bowling at Wichita for like 6 years. I mean, I don't know how long it's actually been, but he's been there. He's been around. And when you have somebody to look up to like that, you kind of just rely on them. And like Brandon is setting a great example of body language and what to do. Like, he hasn't made his best shots, but he's okay. Like, you can see him turn around, show support to his teammates. And for Pikeville, I'm waiting to see who steps up and takes on that role. Because there are some nerves going on. First time at ITCs for some of these players. And outside of that, they don't even have a lot of experience on the other levels in these types of atmospheres, right? So you have to rely on experience, right? For them, you rely on sectionals. Like, hey guys, we made it here. We deserve to be here. Um, and you start bowling more aggressively. Like, that's what I want to see. I want to see some aggressive bowling. Who cares what our score is as long as we give it 100%? Because I see some tentativeness. And that's when you know that I'm not going to use the word scared. They're not scared. You're at ITCs, you're bowling competitors, but the nervous energy is in the room. You can see it, and they have a couple frames here. I mean, Wichita only had 203 there. That's a bowlable score. That's
Hmm.
uh, if you're Pikeville, you just look for some energy, and I think that's what the coaches are doing. They're switching it up a little bit. They're talking to everybody, trying to get people to look at the lanes a little differently, and again, like you said, it's a new place for some of these players, and you're 2 games in, and I promise you, they don't feel like they're 2 games in. They feel like it's still just starting. So gotta calm down, gotta get the legs moving, and throw some good shots, and get some of that momentum going.
So it was going to be 2-0, and we just heard an excited Wisconsin Whitewater team, and for good reason. They just snuck out a win and are going to go up 2-0 against Indiana Tech. For Indiana Tech, they opened in the 10th frame. Wisconsin Whitewater had gotten the first strike and needed the second one to secure the victory. They could have gone 9 spare to have a tie, but got the second hit, got excited. Second-ranked team in the nation. They bounced back after a little bit of a slow start in qualifying, and now going to find themselves up 2-0.
That is the beauty of this event. Doesn't matter where you qualify. Doesn't matter what you've done all season. Comes down to this tournament in this building on this pattern. You always have a chance. And we see it every year. There's some teams that you might not think have a great chance, but they always make a run. Not sure who it's going to be just yet this year, but we'll see it. We will see it. We'll figure it out who it is coming shortly.
Wichita State now having to wait idly by as Pikeville concludes the game. So,
and I think this is a good thing for Pikeville. I think this is a really good thing. The match is already over, right? They're taking a lot of time. They have some time to decompress. Down 0-2. They're looking at some different ways of playing lanes. About to see a ball change here from the anchor. I think is really important. Everybody talks about the anchor bowler. You have the guy down there in case you need that double in the 10th like Wisconsin did. But I think the first bowler is arguably more important. And I don't always think that you're supposed to put your best bowler last. You put your most clutch bowler last, who really is fearless. But you put your best bowler first a lot of these times, and you see this with a lot of teams. You put your best shot maker first, things like that, to give you a read on the lanes when you go back and forth lane to lane. But you also need a strong start, right? Like, starting with like opens are really tough to get your team momentum going. So you really want somebody that makes a lot of spares, throw some strikes, get the momentum going. And I'm interested to see in what changes Pikeville makes. I'm not super familiar with many of the bowlers, but I'm curious to see if they change the lineup up to get some energy in some different spots and get something going.
Looks like Wichita State is not going to waste any time to get into
Yeah,
it
they're
here.
ready. They're
They are
just
ready.
like, all right, you guys are done, we'll start. Yeah, that's they're ready to go. That means they're comfortable, they're ready, they're on the attack. Great
TJ
shot by
rocks.
TJ there.
Yep.
And he has move left. That does look like he has a move left. So now if you're Pikeville, how long do you wait to start this game? Because do you really want to look up, and if Briley throws a strike here, look up at a double and you're already behind the 8-ball again? I would like to see them get going here. I would like to not see Wichita get a few shots in. I think that's heavily going to be in their favor.
Wichita with the early double. It looks like Pikeville now ready to go. I believe that's Bryce Oliver.
He has some
Pikeville.
junior Team USA experience, no? Both very good at Team USA trials, I believe it was.
He's had some good team trials, and he made a junior gold show as well a couple of years ago. But find some trouble in frame one. 3-6-7-9.
Yeah, I got to be honest. I think this is really favoring Wichita, what's going on here. Wichita's off to fast starts every game, it seems like. And that's just hard to look up and get into. And they're getting the breaks. Tripping the 4. A lot of things going Wichita's way early on in this match. But we're going to see some fight out of Pikeville. I think we're going to see some fight here soon. I think that's the last time Bryce is going to miss. You can mark my words down for that, Aaron. I think Bryce is going to throw some strikes here and get this team going.
I like it's going to get locked in here.
The only problem with that is he only gets 2 shots a game. So we need some guys to step up here.
And that really does make it so incredibly tough on the Baker side. We talked about that a little bit earlier. Just in the traditional format, you can kind of rely on 2 or 3 people to kind of carry the team through those games. To if one person's struggling, you got those 2 or 3 guys who can, you can rely on for a 230, a 240 here and there. You just can't have those type of holes in the lineup though in the Baker format because, if you're catching a split or 2 a game, all of a sudden, it's a fight to shoot 180.
Right. Yeah, it's team bowling is so exciting because of that reason. Everybody has pressure on them, not just a couple guys. Because like you said, you can definitely get away with a couple guys carrying the load in the single games. But when it comes to this format, man, you gotta have 5 guys ready to bowl, or 5 females in the women's format, and just be ready on deck, and even past that, because you never know when somebody can struggle. We're not seeing any lineup changes so far from Pikeville. Pretty interesting. They trust their guys that have got them here. Great shot there. Time to get going, boys.
I think just one double here. If they can connect for one, just kind of get.
This is the best thing that could have
downhill.
happened for them is that pin to be in the gutter, and Wichita has to slow their pace down because they have a lot of rhythm. They have a lot of tempo going. Rhythm is very important in bowling. It's often overlooked. You want to throw shots at a consistent rate. And this is a big shot for Pikeville here. Get us back in this game. A little firm.
Taking a look at some other scores. Emmanuel and Lindenwood tied at 1 apiece. William Penn up 2-0 against Calumet. St. Ambrose and Lawrence Tech tied at 1 apiece. Whitewater, as we talked about, up 2-0. Still waiting for the score for Mount Mercy and Martin Methodist after 2. Mount Mercy up 1-0 after game number 1. Weber up 2-0 against McHenry and Midland and St. Francis, 1 apiece. One of the few miscues we've seen so far from Wichita State. Taking a look at the 3-4-6-10.
Good
Nice
shot
there from Pikeville.
That miss spare in the fourth is tough. You know, they're trying to get some momentum going. So easy to lose it. Very hard to gain it. TJ does not make the spare. So, Wichita's giving Pikeville some life here, and I did say Bryce wasn't going to miss again, so come on, Bryce, don't let me down here.
Andrew Anderson looking for the big strike here for Bryce Oliver from the left side.
Come on, Bryce. Make this a match. Get there. Oh, hey, it works. We'll take it. We'll take it.
and they just needed one thing to go their way.
Right. They did. And about two things went that way because I did not expect TJ to split there. But then they also turn around and get a break. So they're in this match, but they got to throw some strikes here. Brooklyn? It is not.
Going to be the 3-9, but have tightened this match up here. Wichita State's looking to be ahead, but a little bit closer after the open in frame 6. Taking a look around, Wisconsin and Whitewater not messing around against Indiana Tech. They're going to shoot they're going to be in the 270s this game. They can shoot 279.
They're trying to send them to the other bracket early, huh?
They are. That one's going to be 3-0. Advantage Warhawks. And
still not over, though. We've seen crazier things. One of the most exciting matches I've ever been a part of. Unfortunately, we're on the wrong side of it. We had to be double eliminated to miss the TV show by McKendree. We were up 3-0. They won 8 games straight against us.
Holy cow.
Yep. And you just never know, man. When you get momentum on your side, they just bowled so well. Wow. Wow. And these mismakeables by Pikeville are coming back to haunt them.
Big time.
Wow.
2 spares there. Yeah, this is they're in the lead with those spares.
Yep. And they're trying to strike, you know, they're in one of those things where they feel like they must strike, but it's not going to take that much to win these games. Just not.
Catch up Brooklyn in the 8th once again.
Yeah, I mean, they're still in this, but we need somebody to step up here for Pikeville. I mean, those mismakeables are really coming back to get them. They don't need to feel like they got to strike. They need to feel like they got to throw the best shot possible. And if it's a strike, great. If not, it's okay. You've made a good effort.
So a second open from Wichita State, 150 in the 8th. If they can double up here, this match is less than 10 pins. Pikeville in the 9th. Oh,
gets it.
There we go. Get
Gets
some pins
it.
flying around. That's some Andrew Anderson carry going on right there.
Yeah? You think my ball hits that hard?
I'm sure it has at least once or twice.
I appreciate that. I could use some more pins flying like that. Pins flying around. And this is where Alec Kuplinger experience just made the ISC show, and then Brandon Biondo. They're going to step. Try to bring this home for Wichita, but Pikeville can put all the pressure on Brandon here.
203, the max score for Pikeville.
Alex left, and he gets the break. So Brandon needs this first hit now. If he spares, 8 spare would be enough for Pikeville. It's crazy, man. Those mismakeables. This game's already over. .210 still out there for Wichita State. So they're not
shut out, but need this hit. Oh,
Great shot. Pikeville needs 8 spare. Great shot by Brandon there. And if you're Pikeville, this is what you needed. You needed a couple breaks.
3, 6, 10. This might happen, Andrew.
This is now a spare. This is now a. He needs to make this for a tie. If Brandon spares and strikes, gotta make this.
First things first. Spare, no problem.
So Pikeville needs a spare to force Brandon to strike to tie.
And 2 is 189. Wichita State's going to have a chance to sneak this one out.
I really wish after that first strike in the 10th, getting that hit, he would have taken more time before the second. I really do. He just looked rushed. He looked like he was just trying to get it off his hand. Wasn't fully committed. Brandon could step up here, strike to take the 3-0 lead.
Oh, how good is that? Oh, I don't want to be on the.
Yeah,
I don't want to be on
those
the end
are some
of any of
vicious. Those are some vicious high fives.
Oh, steal the win for Wichita State, 190. Pikeville caught some hits, was in position, and now this is the first 2 games kind of feeling it out. You catch some breaks in game 3. Wichita State gives you some opportunities, and that is
you got to take advantage of that.
Pretty demoralizing.
That's a very unfortunate turning of events. Tough spot for their ankle bowl to be in now because you're going to be thinking about that one for a second. But Bryce, great shot by Bryce. He's starting to figure him out, and I think that once Bryce figures him out, you're going to see a lineup change. I really do. Bryce is one of those fearless bowlers that are going to go out there to the best shot possible no matter what. You're down 3-0 up against the wall. Nothing to lose now, and that's the most dangerous place for somebody to be, though, is when you have nothing to lose. You generally compete at a higher level.
Wichita State gets the hit on the 3-6-10 that Pikeville was hoping to have there in the 10th frame. Both teams clean through 1. Wichita State up 3-0 in this best of 7. Once again, first round, double elimination, so nobody going home just yet, but just a little bit longer trek through the elimination bracket for 8 of these teams coming up starting tomorrow morning.
And, for those teams that go to losers bracket, the first thing I would tell them as a coach is somebody has to make it out of the losers bracket. Somebody does. That is 100% a fact. Somebody out of that bracket will make it onto the show. And, the whole why not us mentality, it really is one of the best mentalities to have.
I like that. That is a good way of looking at it. It's like the play-in game at or the play-in tournament on the NBA level now. So
yeah, why not us? Like we've we're at ITCs. We're at the biggest collegiate event of the year. We made it here. We deserve to be here. Why not us? Let's just especially for Pikeville this game. That's definitely a demoralizing one, but now you just turn around and say, well, we got to win them all.
Emmanuel up 2-1 against Lindenwood. Mentioned Wisconsin Whitewater up 3-0 against Indiana Tech.
A lot of 9 there. I heard somebody say it. That was a lot of 9.
Good night.
Wichita State has lost some ball reaction. I really think if Pikeville would have won that last game, there's some momentum on their sides. Obviously now you're looking up a big hill, but I really think Wichita State's ball reaction has kind of gone down a little bit. They're making some errant shots now. This is Pikeville's opportunity.
Kendry able to get game 3, now down 2-1 against Weber International.
That's a pretty high-powered matchup early, huh? Kendry had a rough qualifying block.
They did, yep. They were 15th after the 12 games, and Weber and Wichita State, the only teams better than plus 100 for the qualifying block. Wichita State closer to plus 300, but still technically a true statement. Only 2 teams better than plus 100. But yeah, Weber put up some big games along the way. They actually got to cross with Wichita State for one of the games, so potentially already, I'm sure for the coaches, they were jotting down some notes and looking ahead to see, the only way those teams meet up is on CBS Sports Network, which I'm sure they're already thinking about ways to get there.
Hopefully, and that's coaches analyze a little bit of everything. I think this, big shot for Alec here to get the team going after a few early errant shots. Now got away with one, but this is the biggest shot of Pikeville anchors. I'm sorry, I'm not familiar with his name, but this is a big shot for him after what happened in the 10th frame. Hopefully for a big bounce back. Great shot. Hats off to the coaches for keeping him in there. That gives him confidence. He made a mistake. He knows he made a mistake. He feels like he let his team down probably, but the coaches say, "Hey, this is your job. Clean it up. Let's get back on it."
Big double. See if Biondo can match it. Keep it a 3-pin game, and that one is going to need some help.
And this is where the lanes are transitioning. Obviously, Wichita's trying to move left. Curve it just a touch more, but Pikeville's already been there. Pikeville's been playing the middle part of the lane, and whether it's right or wrong, they're ahead of the transition now. So, all right, Bryce, good 9. Bryce, that left side is looking tough for Bryce. He's trying to throw the reactive ball pretty firm up the gutter. I would look to see him if they do make it to a game 5. Try something different. Try urethane. Miscue by Brandon there on the 3-6-10, but I think Bryce needs to change it up just a touch. He feels like he has to be pretty perfect to throw a strike. That's just not a fun place to be.
And we could have our first team moving on in the winners bracket over on 9 and 10. Wisconsin Whitewater has already delivered a strike in the 10th. They can max out at 192. Best Indiana Tech can get to is 190.
So a double. Second one at 9.
Second one at 9, yep.
TJ Rock has struggled early on here in this match. Yes, which does up 3-0, but TJ Rock has struggled a little bit. That was a better shot. Not a great break, but momentum kind of in Pikeville's corner, even though they lost game 3. They really just got to stay clean here, And they're starting to get a rhythm. They're starting to throw some shots.
Let's head over to 9 and 10 real quick, see if we can get the end of this game. So everyone hang tight. We'll be back here for the conclusion of this one. So we're going to be seeing a shot here from Indiana Tech to keep this match alive. They got the first one in the 10th. Wisconsin Whitewater at 182. They need, or with the spare will be at 182. Indiana Tech will need this strike. Otherwise, they are heading to the elimination bracket.
Corey Hersha looks like an ISC finalist. He's from Michigan. I believe that's Corey. And then fearless. He looks forward to this opportunity. I know he does. So let's see what he pulls off here.
Need a strike, otherwise Wisconsin Whitewater moving on, and 6 pin is going to give Whitewater the win.
Indiana Tech's going to be scary in that eliminators bracket. And I'm going to tell you a couple reasons why. Corey Hersha and Marcus McLean. Marcus McLean, I believe this might be a sophomore or junior year. One of the most talented bowlers I've ever seen. Throws it unbelievable. And even though we're in a Baker format, when those two guys get into a rhythm, I think they're going to throw a lot of strikes. So I would not be looking forward to bowling Indiana Tech in that losers bracket. So spare in the 7th for Wichita, and a double for Pikeville, and now looking at a spare. It looks like Pikeville's going to take this game, and they're going to take it in commanding fashion, hopefully, so that they can get another look at a fill ball, which is very important for them at the moment, trying to figure out what to do. Because as we said, Wichita's lost their ball reaction just a touch.
And good count here will officially end this one. Max for Wichita State, 188 with the spare. So just need a couple pins. Catch a break. That could have been 210 there for a second, so they'll take that. They're going to get the win. Get on the board here, force a game 5, and have a little bit of that momentum we've been talking about.
Yeah, that's the word of the week, isn't it?
It really has been.
So big, though. Means so much.
Just enough there. They'll get that opportunity. St. Ambrose up 2-1 against Lawrence Tech. William Penn up 3-0 against the top-ranked team in the nation this year in the regular season, Calumet. William Penn, though, that team is filled with experience, though. So that was going to be a good matchup regardless, but a little surprised to see Calumet down 3-0 there.
Yeah, there's just some matchups that you don't want to see early on in this tournament if you're certain players or coaches. And it's, the beauty of this format, right? You have some qualifying games. You're either hot or you're not. And then we have some pretty high-power matchups early on. Briando, I think, liked that shot. I am interested in. I wonder if Wichita or Pikeville like a certain lane more than the other. Wichita's last couple games have been a little questionable ball reaction, but Pikeville really likes this right lane. It looks like, and they brought somebody in for the fill that looked really good. I'm curious to see if they bring him in.
Let's see, for Wichita on the right lane so far, they've gone 249 and 190, 203 and 156 on the left lane.
Yeah, I think that left lane's giving more trouble than the right.
But for Pikeville, 147, 148 out of the gates. Just, still, as you mentioned, just trying to get their feet underneath them, kind of get into the mix of this 7-game match. It's something that, we didn't see a ton of during the course of the season as well.
And, they had a little break in between qualifying and this. And, you find out the bracket and you have to sit there for an hour and, we got Wichita State match 1. And, they probably built up their own little tension there, knowing that they bowl against Wichita. But now it's time to just bowl, throw some good shots, try to win some games. Yeah, Bryce is gotta change something, man. You're working a little too hard for that ball reaction. And does Wichita get off to another strong start? They get a break, tripping into 6 by Briley. Let's see if Bryce can make this.
Once again, looking for things to kickstart them here in the early portions of games.
I mean, it's pretty consistent that Wichita has been off to some fairly strong starts. Good try.
Since we're early in this game, let's head over to 17 and 18 for a second. We got a barn burner going over there. So everybody hang tight. This is between Midland and St. Francis. So here's the scenario. Midland can strike out for 224. That was the first shot of the 10th. Not going to get it. St. Francis, Illinois, they're getting ready for their first shot of the 10th. They were working on a double heading into the 9th and went foul spare. Their max 225. So now we'll just need a mark after Midland was unable to get that first hit. Going to get it. 204 now the max for Midland. And I was really banking on Midland to get that first strike. So St. Francis is going to take that one. They're going to go up 3-1.
That's a commanding lead.
I never switched it over, did I?
You did not. Nope.
Oh.
I was curious as to what I was watching.
You could have said something, Andrew. You got to call me out.
I thought that it might have been my computer.
No, that was 100% me.
Okay.
Multitasking a little bit too hard right there. All right, we're back.
We're back. Okay. Hey.
Oh, I got to see it though at least. So that was
open double for Pikeville, double spare. So tie ball game. Does each? Oh, what a bad break. To 6-7. It really feels like it's strike or star for Pikeville, you know. So Wichita can really take a commanding lead here. Alec Keplinger up in the 4th frame. That could have split, but only the 2-8. Got to feel pretty good about that. If you're Pikeville here, you want to make sure you get count. Make sure you get the 1 here. It'd be cool if you got 2, but 1's important. He went for it. He went for it.
Taking a look at live scoring, looks like Calumet College is going to get on the board here, get a win against William Penn. And,
yeah, I would expect them to bounce back pretty fast.
Extend that match to Game 5 at least. Emmanuel up 3-1. Mount Mercy up 2-1. Whitewater with the sweep. Weber now up 3-1 against McKendree. You mentioned St. Francis.
Brandon's going to be making a move here. It looks like he's moved much farther left. Trying to change it up a little bit. That left lane just looks a little tougher than the right, really. And it happens. Wow. Is that 4? That is 4, I think. And what did I just say about pin count? Pin count is so important. Pikeville, man, what an interesting match we have here. If Pikeville could get some momentum, they just keep giving it back to each other.
Which was the last time they were on these specific lanes. That's exactly what that match was.
Yeah, the 10th frame, right? They gave it right back to each other, back and forth.
See if Bryce can get something going, top of the lineup.
Did he make it?
No.
Oh, wow. I thought for sure he had that, but it did get count. So 9 pin advantage, possibly 19 with a strike here for Wichita going into the 6th frame. And that could have split as well. Mm-hmm. That was a good 2-8. A good 8, I would say, because that 10th pin was standing for a second. Let's see if Bryce can make the spare. It does go to the spare ball. Good spare. And if you're Bryce here, man, this is tough because this first round, every time you don't have the 6th frame, you're no longer in control. It's up to your teammates to bring this one home. They have made a lineup change, it looks like. That is the one who threw the fill ball. Wow. Miscue by TJ on the right lane. So with the strike, he gets it. He can show some. That's what we need to see. We need to see some energy. Say, hey, we're in this match.
That's the type of swings. We're talking about swings here, folks.
Yep.
The big momentum.
There it is. There it is.
And oh wow, I flushed.
When it rains, it pours. I'm telling you, when it rains, it pours. When you feel like it's not going quite your way.
Good news for Wichita State. They still have 3 wins already collected, but you don't want to give good teams like Pikeville the opportunity to continue to stick around. Oh. 3, 6, 7, 10.
Gotta get count. Gotta get count. I would love to see at the end of this game how count affects whichever team wins and loses. Like, getting 3 here is so important. Like, yes, making it is cool, but get 3. I cannot stress you enough how important getting 3 here is.
Uh-oh. Oh.
And he was going for it. I mean, you can tell that he's going for it.
Was being aggressive with it, but a little too aggressive. But pays the ultimate price.
You got to hit that first one, get 3. See, I mean, Wichita's got to just take advantage of this. There's been too many wishy-washy. Wichita says, time to just win this. We're done giving it back and forth.
And with that strike, they reclaimed the lead, up 4.
They're up 14 max score, yep. Oh, and a great shot there in the 9th. So now you need some help again from Wichita, and I just don't know. Alec has been pretty solid throughout this match.
Wichita State up 3-1, looking to end it here in 5.
And that frame 8 from Pikeville, why count is so important is you also want to give some positive energy going to your next guy, right? Like, yes, you will have an open. However, you have an open, but you got count. You can turn around and say, hey, go ahead, pick me up. I can't tell you how important it is to have some positive energy flowing throughout that lineup. So we have a 4-pin match here.
Oh, goodness. Spares, kids.
So now, yep. So Brandon will just have to mark in the 10th now.
No problem on the spare there. Best Pikeville can get to is 162. As you said, Andrew, any type of mark in this one is this one's going to Wichita State, and Pikeville has a long road through the elimination bracket.
Yeah, technically 6 spares strike. And now, when it rains, it pours. Not a lot of positive energy flowing at the end of that game. Take it in stride, Pikeville. Learn from what just happened. If you look at the scores, right, when they look back in this match and the scores that they would have had to bowl to win games, they are 100% capable. And they try to strike just a little too much. They try to push the envelope a little too often. Just keep it simple. Keep the ball in front of you. Make some good shots. If you would have all stayed clean, just got some 9s, you would have won this match. Or I shouldn't say won this match, but you would have been more competitive in this match and had a few wins, and it would be a much closer battle going into game 6, 7.
I think that's a great point. When that first game, 249 out of the gates for Wichita State, but then 203, 190, 156, which Pikeville did win that game, and now a max of 177. So it's certainly obtainable, but some miscues for Pikeville to clean up heading into tomorrow. And Wichita State, they got that first win. They had some ups and downs along the way, but the number 1 seed, they took advantage of the breaks when they had them, and found a way to win 4 games.
And this is great coaching here by Rick Steele-Smith, bringing in a guy that didn't bowl any shots, didn't throw any shots, and get him ready. Maybe he's a transition player. Maybe when the lanes start transitioning, you got to bring a couple different looks in, see what's going on. Obviously, you're a little cold. It's been a second since you've thrown a shot, but I game plan for after games 3, 4 on how to attack the lanes and be more prepared for when they break down this way. Do we have another match after this then in the winners bracket?
For the men, the winners bracket is done after this. We'll have the women's qualifying squad at 2 p.m. Eastern, so in about 2 hours. So
Okay.
for the men, they're done after this today.
Okay.
But
Cool.
we have other matches ongoing we can go to. So
Perfect.
I'm kind of curious about this Calumet William Penn. So this
Let's
time,
see
if I don't switch over,
I would like to watch bowling.
Bowling important, yes, very.
I hear some cheering.
We got it. I'm almost there. I promise. All right.
All right, cool. You're going to have to give some score updates.
I can do that for you. I am.
I can pull it up, actually. I can pull up the live scoring. Let's see what we got here. Merrick.
Big thanks to Merrick. So, taking a look at this, this is the 7th frame for Calumet on the left. 7th frame as well for William Penn. A pretty good shot there, unable to make it 3 in a row. So, score-wise right now, let's see, Calumet with the spare. William Penn looking at a spare opportunity. If the Statesmen cover this, they're going to be down 26 with the 8th, 9th, and 10th to go. William Penn is up 3 games to 1, however. So looking to make a run here and close this out.
Yeah, it looks like Weber International will defeat McKendree and go up and stay in the winners bracket. Hooking at the spare. Nervous. That makes me nervous, you know. Is it going to get over there? And it does.
So we got some pairs already done, so we're going to start turning those off for the moment as we kind of watch these ongoing matches continue.
Oh, good shot. Crimson Wave up against the wall here. Coach Kubacki is hoping they can make this spare and still have the lead going into the 9th frame. And he does not.
Oh, goodness.
How many miscues have we seen? That's back to in the 6th and the 8th mismakeable spares by the Crimson Wave, and that's just not it's not consistent with a Kubacki team. They're very, very good spare shooters. The Nerds up against them. Can William Penn take advantage?
9th frame, asking for help, and
did not get it. So Crimson Wave can, with a strike here, can put themselves in a 190s-ish.
190 pace, yep.
Yep.
Kevin McCune, first team All-American. Oh.
Yeah. Kevin is very much like his father, Eugene McCune, in many ways. He's very aggressive in how he attacks the lanes. He can throw it hard, hit it hard. And when he gets going, he can strike for a while. Another one of those teams that just a lot of talent and a lot of experience from not just collegiate bowling, but bowling in general.
3 NCBCA All-Americans for the Crimson Wave, and that might do it for this one. 179 now, the max score for William Penn.
Yeah, it looks like we're gonna be going 3-2, and Crimson Wave will stay alive with good pin count here.
PD Virgos on the ISC show, and
yep, the transition's starting to hit some of these players with some rev rate. It looks like they're having a hard time getting it through the middle portion of the lane. If they get it up the lane, it hooks too early. If they get it past about 8 down lane, it kind of stays there. So they're getting tricky. The guys that really have it, it seems like, are the guys that can stay a little firmer, a little straighter, keep the ball in front of them.
Some other updates. It looks like Mount Mercy 2.5 to 1.5 against Martin Methodist. So we had a tie there, and that is what happens. You get the half. As you said, Weber International with the win. St. Francis, Illinois up 3-2 against Midland. And 183 will be enough for Calumet to take game 5. I don't know how I got to game 2 all of a sudden. But they have now won 2 games. There we go.
Okay, that makes more sense.
I brought it all around.
You did. It's full circle.
Full circle moment right there. So split second shot of the 10th for William Penn. Most they can get to this game, 169. So officially in the books, Calumet is going to take its second consecutive game, force a game 6. William Penn still up 3-2 with potentially 1 or 2 left to go here.
William Penn, you do not want to go to game 7 here. That's kind of the thought process. Let's get this game. Let's not let them feel like they got a chance.
And when we talk about momentum, though, as well, I mean that's in the same thing. Being up 3-0, and just all of a sudden find yourself in a 1-game match.
You know, like 183, and that's because of 3 missed makeables. Like the Crimson Wave built a much better game than 183 if they make their spares. But if you're William Penn, 168 is not going to get it done. You got to feel like you got to throw a few strikes here, get off to a fast start, put these guys back up against the wall, and
folks, once again, since we don't have scoreboards, we are using Merrick and live scoring to kind of keep up with the pace of the game. So you can do that as well. I actually have multiple windows open, kind of doing the thing, keeping pace with everything.
William
So be
Penn
sure to check that out on your own.
Wow, trip to 4 for a big start. And this is where, if you're Crimson Wave, whoever that first bowler is, get up there and go. Do not let them get off to a start and you have to look up at the scoreboard and see you're behind. Great shot. Great shot. And showing some energy there. That's what we like to see.